we bring in the introduction from Aditi. Please, thank you, Aditi.
So I'm going to introduce my mother. My mother is a yoga teacher. She is an acupressure therapist, and she is a Reiki master. She has, the greatest thing about her is that after her, she gave up her career to raise us and to take care of the family. And a few years ago, about 12 years ago, my mother went back to college, did her MA in philosophy, did her MPhil, an acupressure therapist for over 10 years. She has been a Reiki master and a yoga teacher for a really long time, and she is my inspiration. She did her duties and then she went back to her life. She took charge of her life again, and I'm very proud to introduce my mother.
Thank you so much. Thank you for gracing this platform. Thank you for being there. Thank you in every whichever way. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया.
Thank you, Aditi, for introducing me in such a nice way. And thank you, Anu, for allowing me or inviting me as a part of this program of yours.
Thank you. I'm grateful.
Thank you. This is my Aditi, who told you a lot about her life. See, today, whatever, like, I am going to talk about meditation, and I'm going to give some practical experience of meditation. But before that, I would like to say something about how these practices has helped me, and what all has made me take all the stresses in life. I had stopped working also after my I was working in a Saraswat Bank, and after Aditi was born, unfortunately my mother-in-law she suffered from a brain cancer, and she was in coma for 5 months, and then she passed away. And then I had to leave my job because there was no other lady in the house, and I had to look after my even my father-in-law's family and my family. My husband was a pilot, and so most of the times he was out of house, so I couldn't do anything. I could not pursue my career. I had to leave my job. Then a period of 30 years passed. I was doing all a household. I was a typical housewife at that time. I never even thought that I will go to the university again, I will start learning again. After 30 years almost, when most of my responsibilities towards my father-in-law's family, like my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, they became independent. My daughters grew up. I started again thinking about myself, and then first of all, I did my yoga courses, and I became Yogacharya. And then one fine day, I just thought that why can I not go for MA in yoga? First of all, I went to the institute, Yoga Institute, where I did my Yogacharya course. I wanted to go and get my certificate, international yoga certificate. And I was not allowed because I did not do their 1-year course. So I said, fine, okay. I was not given the admission. And then I thought, let me go to the university and inquire about the MA. University people said, we don't have MA course in yoga major, but you do our yoga diploma course. I said, okay, fine, chalo, let me join that. I went through the prospectus of MA degree, and unfortunately, I was so unaware about the topics and subjects of philosophy that I thought, it's not my cup of cake and I'm not going to do this. Better I go and join my yoga course, diploma course. while doing the diploma, advanced diploma, I got acquainted with the Indian philosophy, and then I again went, I got the prospectus, I went through it, and then I thought, yes, now Western philosophy I can manage, because now I know what Indian philosophy is, and Western philosophy I can manage. When I actually started with the yoga diploma course, I never thought any, or I will do any further studies in this. But that is how it all started again. Then I also did various diploma courses. While doing my MA, I did my diploma in Indian aesthetics. I did my diploma in Vallabh Vedant. I did my diploma or maybe advanced diploma, 2 years diploma course in Indian mysticism. That is how now that I'm still in the process of learning, and almost every year I try to do some course or the other with Bombay University. Now I have joined Sanskrit grammar course with Mumbai University online. This is what I am.
Wow.
Okay.
Amazing.
So
Amazing.
these things now, say again.
I said amazing.
Thank you very much. All these things have really helped me go through all the stresses. Manage, of course, being a human being, sometimes you are low, sometimes you are okay, sometimes you are not able to manage the stress. But somewhere, you know, when you are aware of what is right and what is wrong, or should I get into this phase, this kind of knowledge has given me that strength of dealing with all these situations with my daughters. Now we will come to the meditation. And as before starting the meditation practice, I would like to give I would like to share some of my thoughts about what meditation is. Generally, meditation is understood as what? Concentration. What we understand as meditation. It is a kind of a concentration. But are all concentrations are meditations? All concentrations cannot be meditations. Though all meditations can be concentrations, but all concentrations are not meditations. Why I am talking about these things today? Because what I have seen, I have been teaching yoga for last about almost for about 16 years plus. I have seen that people have taken the yoga or these kind of meditation practices only as a therapeutic part of it. The spiritual aspect of these practices are not taken seriously by most of the people. Maybe whatever may be the reasons, because what I have seen, नहीं ये सब कुछ हमको नहीं चाहिए, हमको तो बस जल्दी जल्दी पतला होना है, जल्दी जल्दी you know, I want to be flexible, I want to be beautiful, I want to be thin, I want to be healthy. All these things are there, but इसका जो spiritual aspect है ना, वो normally nobody is taken seriously about it. So that is why I am talking about what meditation is. So what meditation is? It is a willful, continuous spiritual activity. And as Patanjali says, it should be done with Shraddha and Virya. So Shraddha is faith and Virya is enthusiasm. And there are certain prerequisites of this meditation practices, which nobody bothers. हम लोग meditation करने जा रहे हैं. I have joined a meditation class. What meditation you are doing? Are you doing a meditation? Is it a really meditation? Are you able to concentrate? Are you able to go within? Are you able to go inward? No. When you are sitting for meditation, what happens? What is the state of your mind? Is it without any stress? Is it completely concentrated? Isn't it running after other things? when ladies come to me for yoga also, there are some few ladies who are doing asanas or who are doing pranayam just for the sake of it. And I can make out that their concentration is not there. Why? What are you doing? No, I'm thinking abhi ghar jaake ye kaam karna hai. That's not meditation. That's not yoga. So when somebody wants to go for meditation, the prerequisite is purification of mind. Does anybody really bother about that? Is my mind really without any stress, any negative thoughts? Is my mind really happy when I sit to do these things? So one requires a purified mind, one requires a stable mind. And as we know, healthy mind resides in a healthy body. Similarly, if your body is healthy, then your mind is healthy. So stable body is also very important prerequisite of meditation. And so Patanjali, in his Yoga Sutra, gives us some few simple methods of purification of mind, and where he says Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Of course, he has defined yoga as yoga's Chitta Vritti Nirodha, but this Chitta Vritti Nirodha is nothing else but purification of mind. Now, what are the methods of purification? How one can go for purification of mind? One can go as there are certain practices recommended by our Vedas and Upanishads for the purification of mind. That includes dana, that includes some yajna, that includes the fasting. Fasting, what is fasting? Fasting is not eating khichdi or all those fasting mein jo food khate hain wo. The real meaning of fasting is control. Control of your mind, control of your senses, which to run after the pleasure. Actually, the meaning of Ekadashi, I would like you people to understand what is the meaning of Ekadashi. Ekadashi is, people do fasting of Ekadashi. Nirjali Ekadashi करते हैं लोग कुछ ना खाते या तो सब कुछ खाते हुए भी हम लोगों में बोलते हैं मराठी में एकादशी दुप्पट काशी. So when there is a Ekadashi fast, we eat double. But that Ekadashi, the meaning of Ekadashi is control over your Ekadasha avayavas or organs. What are Ekadashas? That is 11 organs. What are these? 5 karmendriya, that is organs of action, and 5 organs of senses, and 1 mind becomes 11 organs. And the control of these 11 organs is the real Ekadashi or real fast of Ekadashi. So these are some few ways of purification of mind according to our rituals or Vedas. Now, in yogic sciences, there are various techniques that are given, such as Patanjali has given a very, very popular technique. It is known as Ashtanga Yoga or Eightfold Path, where one can follow the disciplines of Yama, Niyama, that is controlling do's and don'ts, and then pranayama, practice like pranayama, where breath control or nadi shuddhi for purification of body and mind. Purification is extremely important when we are going for the practices in meditation. When the mind is purified, it gives better concentration, because mind has a tendency to divert. In Marathi, we have a very popular song. Those who are Maharashtrian here may be remembering this song or knowing this song of Bahinabai Chaudhary, who says, "Mana vadhaya vadhaya ubhya pikatala ढोर किती hakala hakala piruni yeta pikavar." Matlab, my mind, the mind is so naughty, so wavery that it is like ubhya pikatala ढोर. like the what you call animals that are coming in the farms, no, and how much ever we shoo them off, they do not go. They come again and again. So this is how the state of mind, that even when you don't want to get attracted towards certain things, the mind keeps on running towards that thing. So that is why the purification of mind is extremely important before going for meditation practices. Then there are practices like breath observations, which can help in better concentration. Now, traditionally, what we understand as by meditation is meditation should culminate into a state of samadhi. That is a traditional method of meditation, or traditional goal of meditation, that it should finally eventually culminate into a samadhi, which is the self-realization or a salvation. But in today's world, can we even afford to look at meditation from that point of view? Because nobody has that much of time and that much of energy to sit for hours together and do at one place and do the concentration meditation. It is very difficult. It is very difficult because it is really a time-taking process. So in today's time, generally, the concept of meditation has changed, and it is generally looked at it as a stress buster or a method for relaxation. And in whichever way, whether the meditation is traditional one, whether the meditation is a guided meditation, or whether it is mindfulness, the prerequisite is the purification, mental purification, and stability of your body. And that practice we are going to do today for as a meditative practice. Now, are you all ready for that? Do we have?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, okay. Then we will start. And I hope I have not bored you.
Not at all. I mean, I didn't know this, that there are 5 action organs and, 6 action organs and 5 senses. And that just made so much of complete sense.
There are five organs, 5 karmendriya, 5 jnanendriya, and mind is also taken as an organ.
Wow.
Mind is not, it is a subtle thing, though it is somewhere in the, maybe it is an imaginary organ, one may say, but it is a definite part of a subtle body. That is
Wonderful.
3 of 11 organs.
Thank you so much.
Chalo, let us start.
Yes.
Should we?
Absolutely.
Okay. Sit in a comfortable position, eyes closed, whichever position you want to sit, but I would request not to lie down. Back straight, eyes closed, neck straight. Relax. Keep your hands in a relaxed position on your thighs, palms facing upward. Breathing normal. Don't try to correct your breathing. Don't try to manage your breathing. Let the breathing be as it is. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Just be in that situation. Initially, we are going to do some relaxation. Concentrate on your forehead and relax your forehead. Concentrate the area between your eyebrows and relax your eyebrows. Concentrate on your ears. Relax your ears. Concentrate on your nostrils and relax your nostrils. Concentrate on your facial muscles, cheekbones, lips. Relax your face completely. Let me see a mild smile on your face because it's going to be a very enjoyable journey now onwards. Relax completely. Relax your shoulders, relax your neck, relax your arms, relax your palms, relax your chest, relax your shoulders, relax your lower body. Slowly now, bring your attention on your breath. By this time, your body is completely relaxed. You're feeling very light. All your weight is taken by the chair, the bed, the floor, wherever you are sitting in a very comfortable position. Bring your attention on your breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Tell yourself that you are the embodiment of purity. Inhale the purity, exhale the impurity. Inhale the purity, exhale the impurity. With your every inhalation, you're becoming more and more pure. You're becoming purer and purer. There's no impurity. With every exhalation, all the impurities from your body is getting out. Stay in that condition for a while. Be the embodiment of purity. You are pure. You are pure. You're completely pure. Inhale peace. Inhale peace. Exhale all the chaos, all the disturbances. Inhale peace. Exhale all the chaos, all the disturbances. With every inhalation, you are becoming more and more peaceful. No chaos in your mind, no confusion in your mind. All the chaos and confusion is coming out with the exhalation. Inhale peace, exhale peace. Inhale strength. Inhale strength. Exhale all the weaknesses. Inhale strength. Exhale all the weaknesses. With every inhalation, you're becoming stronger and stronger. With every exhalation, all the weaknesses are coming out. You are no more a weak person. You are the strongest person. Tell yourself that you are the strongest person in this universe. Inhale strength. Exhale weaknesses. Be in that strong mental position for a while. Inhale calmness. Inhale calmness. Exhale all the turmoils, all the disturbances from your mind. Inhale calmness. With every inhalation, you're becoming calmer and calmer. Tell yourself that you are the most calm person on this earth. You're not going to get disturbed with any of the disturbances, with any of the problems, with any of the stresses. Inhale calmness, exhale the disturbances. Inhale happiness. Inhale happiness. Tell yourself that you are the happiest person in this universe. No worry, no stress, no negative thought is going to trouble you. Be happy. With every inhalation, you're becoming happier and happier and happier. And you are the most happiest person in this world. Remain in this thought for a while. Enjoy this purity. Enjoy this peaceful condition. Enjoy this happiness. Enjoy this blissful situation of yours. This is a very blissful situation. You're without any stress, without any weaknesses, without any worry, any problems, any negative thoughts. Just be in this position, and this is the most pure condition of yours. And with this pure condition of yours, let us think about the beautiful bright white light descending from the universe, getting into you, piercing your crown chakra. We're going to talk about the chakra also. I will explain you the location of chakras. Let that bright white light pierce your crown chakra. Crown chakra is the seat of superconsciousness. Crown chakra is located at the crown of the head or above the center part of the head. And this is where the individual consciousness merges into universal consciousness and the self-realization dawns. So let this pure, white, bright light be in your crown chakra for a while, cleansing your aura, cleansing your crown chakra, making it more and more energized. And now this white light descends onto your Ajna chakra or third eye chakra. Third eye chakra is abode of Shiva. The location of third eye chakra is between the eyebrows on the center of the forehead. This is a place of spirituality, intuition, and memory. So let this bright white light be in your third eye chakra for a while. Let this third eye chakra get cleansed. This is an important focal point for meditation as well as concentration and visualization when one enters into the advanced practice of meditations. So it is absolutely important for the cleansing of this crown chakra, third chakra. Once the third eye chakra is cleaned and cleared and energized, let this white light descend further down into your Vishuddhi chakra, which is the location of this is behind the neck pit. Vishuddhi. This is the center of creation. Meditating on this chakra, mind becomes pure and empty. And this is what is the necessary requirement of further meditation practices. So let the Vishuddhi chakra get energized and cleansed with that white, bright light. This governs the thought as well as the sound vibrations. After cleansing your Vishuddhi chakra, let that white light come down into your Anahat chakra. Anahat chakra is heart chakra. It is located close to heart. The seat of Anahat chakra, this is a seat of Anahat Nad. Anahat Nad is unstruck sound experienced only in the advanced stage of meditations. So this is a center for divine love, compassion, friendliness, peace, and happiness. Develop the feelings of friendliness, develop the feelings of divine love. Love yourself, love your people around you, love the universe, love this world. Develop the peace and happiness in your heart chakra. Once the heart chakra is cleansed and clear, Let this light descend down to your Manipur chakra, which is a solar plexus. The location of Manipur chakra is at the back in the level of the navel. And this is a storehouse of pranic energy or vital energy. So this distributes pranic energy or vital energy all over the body with the help of 72,000 nadis. So let your Manipur chakra get cleansed, get energized, and let that white, pure, serene light descends down into your Swadhisthana chakra or sacral chakra. This sacral chakra is located below the navel, close to the sacral region. It governs the excretory system as well as your reproductive system. It governs your emotions, desires for pleasure. So allow the white light to dwell into the sacral chakra for a while. Allow it to cleanse. Imagine the cleansing of your sacral chakra. Imagine the energization of your sacral chakra. And now this white light is coming down further into your Muladhara chakra or a root chakra, which is located at the root, at the posterior side of genital organs. This is a very potent chakra as it is the seat of Kundalini. This chakra is a generating station of prana, and Kundalini awakening happens from the root chakra. This chakra also governs your emotions and the basic instincts of the person. Allow the white light to remain in a root chakra. Let the root chakra get cleansed and energized. And now, once all your chakras are cleansed and energized, this white light, this beautiful, serene, bright white light is getting on around your body, getting out of your body through your thighs, knees, feet, toes, and forming a kavach around you, a shell around you. And in that shell, you are situated there. You are in a very safe manner. This kavach has covered you. There is no worry, no negativity is going to come towards you. You are pure, you're serene, you are strong, you're healthy, you're happy. Be in that state of peace, be in that state of bliss for a while. Enjoy this blessed situation before you come out of this. Just be in that state. Inhale, exhale, relax, relax, and relax. Slowly try to come in this world. Move your hands, move your feet. Rub your palms against each other. Keep them on your eyes. Don't open your eyes immediately. Open your eyes slowly into the palm. And whenever you feel like coming into this world, please come back. And I hope you have enjoyed this journey from outer to inner and then again outer. I hope this has given you some relaxation, some feeling of purity.
Thank you so much. That was so beautiful.
Thank you very much.
So peaceful. Loved it. I'm sure everybody is in the same place like I am. Maybe even better.
Thank you.
Hi.
Now it's my turn to teach.
Of course, dinosaurs, right?
Yes, right.
Now we're going to sit down and we're going to hear about dinosaurs from you.
Just wait for a minute.
So who's going to introduce you? Your mama or your nani? Who's going to introduce you?